Most people think aging's pretty simple. Every birthday adds another year. That's how we count age. But here's something strange. Two people can be born on the exact same day and age completely differently. One still hikes mountains, moves easily, and feels energetic. The other gets tired just climbing the stairs. One seems younger than the calendar says. The other feels much older. Same birthday, same number of candles, completely different bodies. So which one is actually older? The answer depends on which clock you mean. Because your birth certificate tracks only one kind of age, your body may be keeping a different score, a hidden clock that doesn't simply count how many birthdays you've had. Instead, it reflects how your body is holding up over time. And unlike the clock on your kitchen wall, this one doesn't always move at the same speed. For some people, it appears to move faster. For others, it appears to move slower. To understand why, imagine two identical cars built on the same day. One is carefully maintained. Its engine runs smoothly. Worn parts get replaced. Small problems get fixed before they become big ones. The other car lives a very different life. Maintenance gets ignored. Damage slowly piles up. The engine becomes less efficient. Parts begin wearing down. Technically, both cars are exactly the same age. But would you say they're in the same condition? Of course not. Your body is far more complicated than a car. But the basic idea is surprisingly useful. Every day, your cells face stress. They produce energy. They copy and repair DNA. They remove damaged material. They respond to inflammation. They replace worn-out components. Most of this maintenance happens without you noticing. When these systems work well, your body can stay more resilient over time. But when damage begins outpacing repair, the difference slowly becomes visible. Recovery takes longer. Energy may feel lower. Strength becomes harder to maintain. Metabolism can change, and the body may become more vulnerable to age-related problems. This doesn't happen because one birthday suddenly made you old. It builds quietly, day after day, year after year. And that's why two people with the same chronological age can have very different levels of biological wear. Researchers use the term biological age to describe this idea. It isn't one perfect number, and no single test can capture everything happening inside your body. But scientists can study patterns linked to aging, including changes in DNA regulation, metabolism, inflammation, organ function, and physical ability. Together, these clues help reveal something important. The calendar tells you how long you've been alive. Your biology tells a more complicated story about how you're aging. But this raises an even bigger question. What makes one person's hidden clock speed up while another person seems to move more slowly? Part of the answer is written in your genes. But genes are not the whole story, because the same DNA can behave very differently depending on which instructions your cells are using. And that brings us to the first major gear inside the hidden clock, a system that can change how your genes behave without changing the DNA code itself. This system is called epigenetics. Think of your DNA as a giant instruction manual. Almost every cell carries the same basic manual, but your brain cells use different instructions than your muscle cells, and your liver reads a different set again. The DNA hasn't changed. What changes is which instructions get used. Your cells have tiny chemical switches that help control this process. Some genes become more active, others become less active, and over a lifetime, these patterns can change. Age plays a role, but so can things your body experiences repeatedly. Sleep, movement, nutrition, stress, exposure to harmful substances. All of these can influence the biological environment your cells live in. Scientists can study some of these age-related patterns using epigenetic clocks. These clocks don't literally count the years. They look for patterns and chemical marks on DNA that tend to change as people get older. And here's where things get really interesting. People of the same chronological age can show different biological aging patterns. In other words, the date on the calendar doesn't tell the whole story. But epigenetics is only one gear in the clock. Another one is constantly working in the background: inflammation. Normally, inflammation is useful. If you cut your finger, your immune system responds. If an infection appears, your defenses go to work. The problem begins when that emergency response never fully switches off. Instead of a short fire that helps solve a problem, you get a low flame burning in the background. Scientists sometimes call this age-related pattern inflammaging. Over time, chronic inflammation can interfere with tissues throughout the body, and this creates a dangerous feedback loop. More damage can trigger more inflammatory signals. More inflammation can contribute to even more damage. The hidden clock starts feeling the pressure. But now, another gear enters the picture: your mitochondria. These are tiny structures inside most of your cells that help produce energy. Think of them as your cellular power plants. Your heart needs that energy, your brain needs it, your muscles need it. Repair itself requires energy, but mitochondria can become less efficient with age, and damaged mitochondria can create additional stress inside the cell. So now the system becomes even more connected. Poor energy production can make maintenance harder. Accumulating damage can increase inflammatory signals. Chronic inflammation can interfere with normal cellular function. And all of this can influence how your body ages over time. This is why there isn't one single switch that controls aging. It's a network, a collection of systems constantly influencing one another. Your genes matter. Your environment matters. Your daily habits matter. Random biological events matter too. And underneath all of it is one crucial balance: damage versus repair. Every day, your body takes tiny biological hits, and every day it tries to fix them. When repair keeps up, the system remains more resilient. When damage repeatedly wins, biological wear can accumulate faster. That may be one of the biggest differences between people who seem to age at different speeds. But if these systems can be influenced over time, then one obvious question remains: can you actually do anything to help your hidden clock move in a healthier direction? The answer isn't a miracle pill or secret hack. It's something far less exciting and much more powerful than most people realize. The answer starts with movement. Your body was built to respond to physical activity. When you walk, lift, run, or climb, you aren't just burning calories. You're sending signals throughout your entire body. Your muscles become active. Your heart works harder. Your cells need more energy. And those challenges tell your body something important. Stay ready. Stay strong. Keep adapting. Regular physical activity is consistently associated with healthier aging, and maintaining muscle becomes especially important as you age. Muscle helps you move. But as we saw in the previous video, it also communicates with the rest of your body. Movement can support metabolic health, physical function, and cardiovascular fitness. But movement is only one part of the picture, because your body also needs time to repair, and much of that maintenance happens while you sleep. During sleep, your body coordinates processes involved in recovery, metabolism, brain function, and immune regulation. Repeatedly cutting sleep short can disrupt that balance. Think of it like closing the repair shop before the work is finished. The unfinished jobs don't simply disappear. Then comes nutrition. Your cells need raw materials to maintain themselves. Protein helps support muscle. Vitamins and minerals participate in countless biological processes. Fiber-rich foods can support metabolic and gut health. And overall, dietary patterns matter far more than any single superfood. There is no magical anti-aging ingredient. Your body responds to what you repeatedly do. The same is true for metabolic health. When the body repeatedly struggles to manage blood sugar, blood pressure, or excess fat, the biological environment can become less favorable over time. This is one reason the habits that protect your heart and metabolism often overlap with those associated with healthier aging. And then there's stress. Short-term stress is normal. Your body was designed to handle temporary challenges. But when stress becomes constant and recovery disappears, sleep can suffer, movement can decline, eating patterns can change, and several systems begin pushing in the wrong direction Again, everything is connected. That's the real lesson of the hidden clock. There isn't one food that makes it slower. There isn't one supplement that resets it. And there isn't one morning routine that guarantees you'll stay young. The people who appear to age more slowly usually aren't protected by one magical factor. Genetics can help, environment can help, luck plays a role. But over decades, many small influences accumulate. How much you move, how well you sleep, what you repeatedly eat, whether you maintain muscle, how your metabolic health changes, how much harmful exposure your body has to handle. None of these choices can stop time, and none can guarantee a specific lifespan. But together, they help shape the environment in which your cells age. That's why two people can celebrate the same birthday, while their bodies tell very different stories. One calendar, two biological journeys. Scientists are still learning how to measure biological age and what different aging clocks can truly predict. No single number can tell you everything about how well you're aging. But the bigger lesson is already surprisingly clear. Aging isn't simply a birthday happening once every 12 months. It's an ongoing process, a balance between damage and repair, stress and recovery, wear and maintenance. You can't choose the day you were born. You can't control every gene you inherited. And you can't control everything that happens to your body. But every day, your body is responding to the signals it receives. Some come from your environment. Some come from your habits. Some come from biology you may never control. Together, they help shape how your body changes as the years pass. So the next time you meet someone who seems unusually young for their age, remember, you may be looking at more than good genetics or a youthful face. You may be seeing a body whose hidden clock has simply been moving at a different speed.